Hey there, my friend. In today's explosive Rangers news, I've selected the following for you. Alex Ray hints that Rangers have already secured John Lundstrom's replacement in a Freudian slip. Casemiro shares a four-word verdict on Man United's win against Rangers at Midfield. A player leaves the pitch in tears just hours after Rangers were told the solid asking price. James Tavernier is now on the brink of an Ibrox exit after Saturday night Rangers news. Kenny McLean addresses Rangers transfer links as the Norwich star provides an honest take. All right, mate, let's dive into the latest scoop involving Alex Ray and our new lad Connor Barron. This one's got a bit of intrigue and some hefty implications for the squad. So Alex Ray, who's back at Ibrox as part of Philippe Clement's coaching team, dropped a bit of a hint that Connor Barron might be the man to step into John Lundstrom's boots. Ray, no stranger to the rough and tumble of our midfield, has been putting his arm around Barron as he settles in. Here's the lowdown. We fought off some serious competition to sign Barron from Aberdeen this summer. The Dons fans are not too happy about it, and there might be a tribunal over the transfer, with Aberdeen's chief Alan Burrows making some noise about compensation. In the midst of all this, Barron is being thrust into the spotlight to fill some pretty big shoes left by Ryan Jack and John Lundstrom. After our 2-0 defeat to Manchester United, Ray spoke about Barron's performance and his budding partnership with Mohamed Diomande. Ray's been working closely with Barron, helping him iron out his faults and flaws. Ray said, "Listen, it's a big step for Connor Barron, because he's obviously filling big boots as well. Lundstrom has been at a good level at this club for a long time. I am spending time with him one-to-one as well. He has got a lot to learn in terms of learning the game. It's similar to myself at that age, had faults and flaws and things, but his endeavor, his application, and his willingness to learn is evident because he spends a lot of time on the training pitch and off it trying to make it better." Now this is where it gets interesting. The fact that Ray is comparing Barron to Lundstrom suggests we're looking at Barron as a direct replacement. This might be a bit of a double-edged sword for us fans. On one hand, it's great to see Ray mentoring the youngster, but on the other, relying on Barron to fill Lundstrom's role could be seen as a step back. Lundstrom played 52 games last season, so replacing him was never going to be easy. Many of us expected a more experienced player to come in, not a youngster like Barron who's still got a lot to learn. This situation might put a lot of pressure on Barron, which could either make or break him. All right, mate, let's talk about Casemiro's recent comments and the state of our preseason preparations. So, Manchester United star Casemiro shared his thoughts on their 2-0 win over Rangers at Midfield on Instagram. The Brazilian midfielder, who has 22.4 million followers, captioned his post with "Good test in Scotland," along with a couple of snaps from the match. Casemiro played the first half with Erik ten Hag's first-team squad, and then a younger side took over in the second half. Now, looking at our own preseason, we've got a bit of work to do. We've got matches lined up against Birmingham City and Union Berlin, and in less than 2 weeks we'll be back in Edinburgh to kick off the Scottish Premiership against Hearts. Philippe Clement, Niels Koppen, and the Rangers board have been working hard to strengthen the squad, but there are still some gaps to fill. Clement's well aware that we won't be facing the likes of Casemiro, Mason Mount, and Jadon Sancho every week in the Scottish Premiership, but there's been a noticeable lack of firepower and depth in certain areas. We're expecting more signings, and that might mean some players will be leaving too. Clement and Koppen are trying to find the right balance between bringing in new talent and maintaining stability in the dressing room from last season. Let's talk about the latest setback in our search for a new striker. Albion Romani, one of our top targets, has just left the pitch in tears after picking up what looks like a serious injury. Just when we thought we had a solid lead, it all seems to be falling apart. The Rangers faithful are getting fed up with our current striker options. Abdallah Sima is too pricey, Hamza Igamani hasn't lived up to the hype, and Danilo's been more of a ghost than a player these last 7 months. Cyril Desires, meanwhile, is back to his unpredictable best, which isn't exactly reassuring. Our 2-0 loss to Manchester United highlighted our lack of firepower, and it's clear that wingers like Rabbi Matondo and Scott Wright just aren't cutting it. Now, Romani, who netted 19 times for Rapid Bucharest last season, was a glimmer of hope. The Kosovar hitman has been turning heads across Europe, and many of us were hoping he'd bring some much-needed punch to our attack. But during Rapid's first Superliga home game of the season against CFR Cluj, He hobbled off the pitch in tears around the 70th minute after opening the scoring. This is his second serious injury in a year, having missed 2 months last season due to an ankle problem. Rapid Bucharest, managed by Neil Lennon, have been dealt a blow both on the field and in the transfer market with this injury. Just hours before, Rapid's president, Viorel Moldovan, had set Romani's price at over €5 million, £4.2 million. Given our recent injury woes, it's almost predictable that Romani's fitness issues would surface now. We've had a rough few years with injuries, and it's seriously hampered our performances. While Romani had pledged his loyalty to Rapid Bucharest, this was a transfer link many of us were watching closely. Now, with this new injury, it's likely we'll have to look elsewhere. If we do decide to raise funds by selling someone like Desires, we'll need to find another striker who can stay fit and deliver the goods. Let's get into the latest on our captain, James Tavernier, and the swirling transfer rumors. James Tavernier might be on his way out of Ibrox after being absent from the squad against Manchester United, according to the Sunday Post. Danny Stewart reported on 21st July that the 32-year-old is being chased by Trabzonspor. The Turkish side has already had one bid turned down but is now preparing a new and improved offer. Tavernier missing the friendly against Manchester United only fueled the transfer speculations. Rangers fell to a 2-0 defeat, with Philippe Clement fielding a strong starting 18, but our captain was notably absent. Apparently, Tav had to rush off to a family wedding, leaving Clement and the fans in the dark about his future. First-team coach Alex Ray admitted he had no idea about any offers, according to the Scottish Sun. Trabzonspor has shown persistent interest, and with players like John Lundstrom and Borna Barisic already making the switch to the Turkish side, it's clear they've got a knack for snapping up our talent. If they do come back with a better offer, Clement might see a sale as a chance to reinvest in the squad before the Scottish Premiership and Champions League campaigns kick off. However, selling Tavernier is a massive gamble. He's not just any player, he's one of our most important assets at Ibrox. His leadership and contributions on the field are invaluable, and letting him go could backfire if we can't find a suitable replacement. Let's talk about Kenny McLean and those Rangers transfer links. Kenny McLean, a boyhood fan of Rangers, has put the rumors to rest by insisting he's fully committed to Norwich City. There were whispers that we might lure him back north to add some grit to our midfield and bolster our homegrown quota for Europe. Some reports even suggested it was a done deal, while others claimed it fell apart over wage demands. McLean, who signed a new 3-year deal with Norwich last season, is also their vice-captain and player of the season. So, prizing him away would likely cost a pretty penny, especially considering his commitment to the Canaries. In an interview with the Norwich Evening News, McLean said, "I don't think that I need to speak too much on it, to be honest, in terms of if it's true or not. It isn't affecting me at all. I'm here, I want to be here, and I'll continue to be here. I'm looking forward to Oxford. I've always had a good relationship with the fans, and I'll continue that for the next couple of years. I hope the contract does speak volumes. It was a pretty similar situation last year when there was talk, and I committed my future to the football club. The football club also committed to me. I don't see why that would change." So, there you have it. McLean's firmly staying put at Norwich, and it looks like we'll need to look elsewhere to strengthen our midfield. I'll be back with more bombastic and exclusive Rangers news at any moment. If you don't want to miss any, just hit the like button and subscribe to our channel, all right? We are the people.